These are the words that set the rhythm of the march of 50,000 students through the streets of London. Few expected that the banners carried that day would end up in flames outside the Conservative headquarters. This was in reaction to Lord Brown's proposed education cuts, which had also forced the tuition fee cap to rise to £9,000. While the intention of the protest was peaceful, broken glass still littered the floor outside 30 Millbank House the morning after.
We're here today to send out a clear message about how the devastating cuts to further and higher education could be really troubling, and how some students, I think, will find themselves priced out of education. This is a government that ran its election campaign, the Tory half at least, saying that you cannot sustain an economy on debt while simultaneously passing on record levels of debt onto the next adult generation. That is sheer hypocrisy. But I think it's right that we continue to focus on the issue of the fee cap, because I don't think it's right that we will sit back and watch the student contribution treble in front of our eyes while state funding is just simply withdrawn. The Liberal Democrats need to stick to their word. They made a promise at the general election to vote against higher fees. They had an election broadcast where Nick Clegg said, "No more broken promises." Students are laughing in their faces right now, and they face wipeout unless they reverse what they're doing. Clearly, we want this to be a peaceful process. That's exactly what we've signed up for. And actually, if students go on to be violent, that is a matter for the police, and we will have to hand it over to them.
And if we end up with a riot on the streets, which I'm sincerely hoping won't happen, the press are going to focus on that. That's not what we want the press to focus on. That's not what my union wants the press to focus on. It's not what you want the press to focus on. You want the press to focus on not increasing fees, not scrapping the education maintenance allowance. Those are the messages we want to get across.
Because we think the cuts to education are unfair.
STEMs are okay, but we need funds for the arts today. Winchester's an arts union, and that's what we need. If we lose it, Winchester will be cut, and it will be devastating for higher education. That's why we brought 250 Winchester students to stay to protest.
No education cuts!
Everybody!
No cuts! No education cuts! No cuts! No education cuts!
We're just trying to give students a voice. It always seems that everybody else is allowed their say, but when it comes to students, we're told to just shut up and put up. And quite frankly, we won't have it.
There's 15,000 of us here today to tell the government that we will not accept cuts to education and higher fees.
I'm a head of school. I think just the sheer number of people, I don't know what the number of people is, but we seem to have filled half of London, so I think the fact that students and universities have been first to have a mass demonstration, hopefully other trade unions and workers and groups will do the same thing.
We're here because we want to go to uni and we don't think that we can if the fees get raised.
We think it's unfair to limit university to people who can afford such high fees, and we don't want people to have to spend the rest of their life trying to pay off the debt they're in.
I'm in Gordon because Gordon's a man of principles, unlike Clegg and Cameron. Gordon's a man who wouldn't go back on his word, he wouldn't sign a pledge. If Labour had won the election, we wouldn't have seen cuts this radical, we wouldn't have seen them this deep, we wouldn't have seen, for instance, humanities funding completely cut. I think higher education would be in a much better state.
United's the largest union in the UK, and we represent obviously people from all different industries. It's a principle about our society that we should all be here, not just as parents supporting our children, but again, as I say, for the next generation. And if it doesn't make a difference, then it's a sad indictment. But I also think the one thing that it does here is politicise the younger people, and that's what we need.
And I'm here because I voted for Nick Clegg and I wish I hadn't. Well, I would have voted Labour, but I thought Lib Dems had better policies, but they're just pushovers and I'm really not happy about it.
I think it's going to make our voices heard. I'm not sure that we'll be listened to.
I got a free education. I don't see why students now should have to pay so much for their education. So at least to show there's plenty of people who are plenty angry about it. Whether we can influence them, I would try to. I didn't vote for this lot. This is the only way we can show how we feel.
I'm here just to show support for all the young people in my constituency who now won't be able to go to university as a result of the announcements. I've just come from inside the House of Parliament where there is a real anger amongst MPs about what's happening, but the strength of feeling out here is no doubt fueling that. It's really, really important. It's only by uniting that we're going to fight this. I'm here today with Unite the Union, and there's people from right across the political spectrum who are furious about this. You can hear the strength of feeling behind me.
As the main protest wound down, the event took a new turn. Some protesters lashed out at the coalition's plans to cut higher education by 7%. The Conservative headquarters of 30 Millbank House was the main target.
Saying violent behaviour was never part of the plan.
Revolution!
What happened?
What do you expect when you get back?
No back! No education cuts! No risk! No back! No education cuts!
People got gathered here, and I think it's people were sort of here for so long, and it was just at a standstill. So I think everyone sort of bounced off each other, and then it just gets bigger and bigger. And I think they just went a bit mental and started smashing the doors. I don't think it was planned.
Leave him alone! Leave it out, man!
Hopefully, if they do something about it and it's made a point, then that'll be really good. And for a few smashed windows, the people in there could earn more than enough to repair that.
But you don't have to start paying it back till you're earning over £21,000. But it's that doesn't change the fact that you're still charging completely ridiculous amounts to have an education as well. I mean, people say, we need to, up the university fees because of the recession and things like that. But that's not the way. I just don't agree that that's the way to do it. I mean, we wouldn't be in this recession if it weren't for the private sector and things in the first place. The people sitting up there pretty much.
Education cuts! No risk! No cuts! No 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 education cuts! No risk! No cuts! And no more Tory cuts! No risk! No cuts! No education cuts!
Yeah, but the problem is...
I'm still done.
Do you know
what? That is disgusting. I can't believe that. My dad is sat at home watching TV, watching the news on 24-hour TV, and all it's focusing on is the riots, and not the fact that 50,000 students turned out to disagree with the coalition. It's a disgrace. And if that's what a minority group of people have done, but that's overshadowed the point of this day. What a waste.
The biggest student protest since 1998 ended with thousands of activists storming the political heart of the coalition. The NUS President Aaron Porter described the violence as despicable, as the intention of the demonstration was peaceful. But with 32 arrests and 14 injured, the attention was turned towards the violence rather than the significant message voiced by the 50,000 protesters that turned up that day.